صدق الله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. As Haji Sahib was making announcement, in his announcement he mentioned that in such gatherings Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy, rahmat descends. They say when in a gathering a pious, a righteous personality is mentioned, when someone is talking about the awliya, the friends of Allah in a gathering, then the rahmat of Allah descends on that gathering. Imagine a gathering in which the mention of Allah and His Rasul is taking place. How much the rahmat will be descending on that gathering. How fortunate are those who get the opportunity, chance, time to sit in such gatherings. We should always make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that after having this opportunity to sit in these gatherings, we should always make a dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, oh Allah, you accept our sitting. And oh Allah, you make this sitting of ours means of our forgiveness and means of seeking your pleasure. So we make a dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, oh Allah, you accept our sitting, and oh Allah, you make it a means of all of our forgiveness. I've just recited a few verses from Surah Yusuf. As you know, the tafsir of Surah Yusuf is taking place, and in our last Dars Quran, in our previous gathering, we've reached to this point when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was mentioning that in the story of Yusuf, there are many signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's power. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after saying this, Allah mentions the story of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam in details. As I've mentioned before previously, Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, from his first wife, he had 10 sons. When the first wife passed away, he married to her sister, meaning his first wife's sister. And from the second wife, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted him 2 sons, Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam and his other brother Binyamin. Now, Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam was very beloved to Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, and he was loved much by his father Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam. But the brothers, the 10 brothers, they became envious and they did not like this. So they gathered and they exchanged their opinions with one another. What should we do in order to get our father's attention towards us? So in the meeting, it was decided either we kill Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, or we throw him somewhere far in the land so that, we can get rid of him and this thorn in the way can be removed. Then we will receive full attention and focus of our Father. This was decided in the meeting, in the gathering. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioning that from among these 10 brothers, one brother intervened and he said, do not kill him. Killing an innocent person is a grave sin in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you really want to get rid of your brother, then I will suggest throw him, cast him in a far land somewhere. And what will happen? The caravan of travelers will come and they will pick him and they will take him. And what you really want, it will be achieved. It will be fulfilled. You want to get rid of your brother, so don't kill him. Killing is, it's a great sin. It's a major sin. You should rather throw him somewhere far. So they decided all this, and it was agreed that we will throw him. Now, they approached their father, Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, and they said to Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, why do you not let Yusuf come with us so that we can enjoy and he can play with us and we can both all enjoy? So Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, one thing is saddening me, and that is that if you take him, then I fear that a wolf may eat him. So I don't feel comfortable in sending Yusuf alayhi salatu salam with you. So the brothers, they assured the father, look, we are a group of 10. And we will guard him, we will protect him, we will look after him. And they said, look, O Father, if along, while we are there and in our presence, if he was eaten up by the wolf, then really, we will be in error. Then we will be useless brothers and a group who couldn't even take care and guard the brother. So, we assure you that we are his well-wishers. We will look after him. Now, few masails, from these verses have been extracted by the ulama and the Ahl Tafsir. One of them is when the big brother said, يَلْتَقِتْهُ بَعْضُ السَّيَّارَةِ يَلْتَقِتْهُ, don't kill him, just throw him somewhere far and the travelers who will be passing by, and they will take him. Now anything, luqta is something, any item which is found or dropped somewhere lying down and you found it. So what is the hukum of it? If you found 10 pounds or if you found anyone's property lying in the street anywhere, so what do you do with it? They said, number one, first of all, the one who found it, it is his duty not to steal it, be honest. And number two, he needs to find out and search the owner, who is the owner is. And then after, he's making so much effort in order to find this, the owner, and if he couldn't find it, if he himself is very poor, then he can use it for himself. And if it's not, then he has to give it in sadaqah, in charity, on behalf of the owner, who it really belongs to. And number two, they say from this verse, the ulama have extracted another masala, that, we shouldn't be throwing everything, the litter on the floor. Today we might be thinking it's the city council's duty to clean the streets. But when we look at the teaching of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we find that Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has made the duty of every individual to keep his surrounding clean. And our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in one hadith, he says, a jihad of a person is not accepted, who throws things on the footpath which may cause inconvenience to those who will be passing by. And our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in another hadith, he says, he who removes any item that could have caused inconvenience to those who are passing by, it is a sadaqah for him. To remove it, it's a sadaqah. Today our youth, drinking a can of Coke, and when it's finished, they just throw the can on the floor, and eating any fruit or the skin of the fruit will be thrown on the floor. This is against the teaching of our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has given us the sabaq and the lesson that don't throw anything. Don't think that this is the duty of the departments of government. No, it's a duty of every individual to keep clean the surrounding where he is walking, where he's staying. He should always make sure his surrounding is clean. This is the teaching of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the brothers, they, as it is mentioned in the historical reports, that the brothers, they're given full assurance to the father, look, don't worry, we will look after. One thing, they said, Inna abana lafi dalalin mubin. They said, our father, look, he's giving more attention to our brother. Indeed, he is in a clear error. Our father is in a clear error. He's making a big mistake, by giving full attention to the brother and not giving any attention to us, while we are the one, who are managing all the affairs of our family, and these two are very small, and we are the eldest. So this, the ulama, they say, when they said our father is in a clear error, they didn't mean by the error as a religious error. They meant he's not fulfilling our rights. Had they meant a religious error of their father, Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, they would have become kafir straight away. But they did not become kafir because they didn't mean the religious error. They just meant that our father should be giving us more attention. Because later on, when they admitted their mistake, so Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, he promised them that, look, I will make a dua for your forgiveness. And so, the dua for forgiveness can only be made for a believer. Although the ulamas, they differ in the brothers of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, whether they were anbiya or not. The clear in this ruling is they were not anbiya, they were not prophets. Why? Because if you look at them, number one, they planned to kill Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. Number two, they were disobedient to their father. Number three, they caused a pain to their father by throwing Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam in the bottom of the well. So all these sins, a prophet who is to be a prophet in future, even before he reaches the station of the prophethood, he does not commit all these sins. But these brothers, they committed all these sins. So because of this, they were not prophets. They were not prophets. But eventually the father asked Allah to forgive them, and they also admitted, and they were asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive themselves. So anyhow, when Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam allowed them to take Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. Now one question remains, why did he say that the wolf may eat him up? What was the reason behind this? Why did he say this? The wolf may eat him. Number one, some say that in Canaan, there were abundance of the wolves. There were lots of wolves used to be in the wilderness, in the jungles. So because of that, he said, maybe you take him and he's a small boy, and you may become careless of him and heedless of him, and a wolf may come and eat him. Number two, some say no, he saw a dream, and the dreams he saw was he was standing on the hill, Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, and what he sees at the bottom, Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam is standing, and all of a sudden he sees the 10 wolves come and surround Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam in order to attack him. While they were ready to, preparing to attack Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, in the dream he sees that one of the wolves comes and defends Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. And then all of a sudden, Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he disappears in the land. So the dream, really what he meant, the 10 wolves were brothers. And number two, the wolf who came out to defend, it was the big brother, whose name was Yahuda. He was the one who said, don't kill him, just throw him somewhere far. So he, and the disappearance of Yusuf in the land meant the dream was he is, being thrown into the bottom of the well. So now the question is, so when Yaqub alayhi saw this dream, and even he took the meaning of the dream of being his sons, that these are the wolves are my sons. Now the ulama says, why did he not mention this to them? That I've seen a dream that you are, I've seen you in the form of wolves, that you are attacking Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. Why did he not mention? Number one, they say he didn't mention, he never wanted to cause any pain to them, and he did not want them to feel, hard about themselves. Look, father is saying that. Number two, they say, he thought, if I today mention this dream to my sons that, I've seen a dream, I fear you may attack him, because he thought, now maybe for a time being, they might not say anything to Yusuf, they might not harm him, but later on they will harm him. And if I reveal the dream to them, this will make them more enemies of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. So he remained quiet, and when they gave him the assurance, no, we will look after him, we will be his well-wisher, then he said, okay, you can take Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam with you. Now they took him, and then what happened after that, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will mention. Before I conclude my today's dars, I would like to mention one thing. On Friday, I mentioned in my talk that our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam once was, in his Masjid al-Nabawi, he came and he found two groups. One group was engaged in the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The other group was engaged, they were teaching one another. So I mentioned that in the masjid, the halqas of ta'aleem, teaching should take place, and also the dhikr halqas and circles should take place. For about some months, we also tried to start a dhikr majlis on our. We have this tafsir Quran on Sunday every Tuesday. So we've arranged one dhikr majlis on every last Tuesday of every month. Alhamdulillah, sometimes 4 or 5 brothers come, sometimes more or sometimes less. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this, we are very fortunate. We amongst us, we have this pious person with us. He's sitting there on the chair. Hazrat Sayyid Ashrafuddin. He is connected to say Maulana Zakir rahmatullah alayhi is Khalifa Sufi Iqbal rahmatullah alayhi, who passed away in Madinat al-Munawwara, and he is buried in Jannat al-Baqi. Hazrat is his Khalifa as well, which I just found out yesterday. So we are very lucky. Hazrat is amongst us. He is here with his son, Dr. Salahuddin, who is just sitting behind Mu'in. He's here, and I would like Hazrat to start this majlis zikr in our masjid. Already is taking place, but we wanted someone elder to give us support. Alhamdulillah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Hazrat, and he came here, and how lucky Hazrat last night mentioned to me that this should be taking place here. So I humbly ask you, this Tuesday is coming, it will be the very last Tuesday of this month. So we will have a majlis we will have a tafsir Quran for 10 minutes. And after Tafsir Quran, we will have a majlis, inshallah, under the supervision of Hazrat after the Tafsir Quran. I humbly urge and I strongly ask you, please do come and participate in this majlis of dhikr. When the awliyas are sitting in the majlis and we are there, you never know, because of them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may forgive us. And there's a hadith of Prophet when the majlis of dhikr takes place, when the majlis of pious people take place, And then when these people sit in the majlis, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because of the pious people who are sitting there, because of them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive the sinners. You never know, we sinners might be forgiven because of Hazrat. So I know it's a fortune for us that Hazrat is here in Leeds in our masjid, and we don't even realize how lucky we are. Hazrat has been invited by so many other towns to participate in the majlis of dhikr. So we are lucky he's here all the time, zikr, reading namaz with us all the 5 times, and inshallah we will be sitting in this gathering, and I hope you will all come and in the majlis zikr. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina wa maulana Muhammadin wa alihi wa sahbihi wa barik wa sallim. Allahumma rabbana atina fid dunya hasanatan wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adhaban nar. Allahumma rabbana taqabbal minna innaka antas samiul alim wa tub alayna innaka antat tawwabur rahim. Wa sallallahu ta'ala ala khayri khalqihi Muhammadin wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin.